some patience, so I pray. It's time to die, it's not what I want.
Take me away. Take me away. Take me away.
Take me away. Take it away.
Alrighty then. Picture this, if you will. 10 to 2 a.m. ex-Yogi DMT and a box of Krispy Kremes in my need-to-know pose just outside of Area 51, contemplating the whole chosen people thingy, when just then a flame in stealth banana split the sky like one would hope but never really expect to see in a place like this. Cutting right, angled donuts on a dime, and stopping right at my Birkenstocks, and me yelping, holy fucking shit! 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 And then the X-File being looking like some kind of blue-green Jackie Chan, with Isabella Rossellini lips and breath that reeked of vanilla chick chomper. Did a slow-mo matrix descent out of the butt into the banana vessel, and hovered above my bug eyes, my gaping jaw, and my sweaty L. Ron Hubbard upper lip. And all I could think was, I hope Uncle Martin here doesn't notice that I pissed my fucking pants. So light in his way like an apparition that he had me crying out, fuck me, it's gotta be the deadhead chemistry. The blotter got right on top of me, got me seeing E motherfucking T. And after calming me down with some orange slices and some fetal spooning, E.T. revealed to me his singular purpose. He said, you are the chosen one, the one who will deliver the message. A message of hope for those who choose to hear it, and a warning for those who do not need the chosen one. They chose me, and I didn't even graduate from fucking high school. You'd better listen. Then he looked right through me with somniferous almond eyes. Don't even know what that means, must remember to write it down. This is so real, like the time they floated away. See, my heart is pounding, cause this shit never happens to me. I can't breathe right now, it was so real. Like I woke up in Wonderland, all sort of terrified. I don't wanna be all alone while I tell this story. And can anyone tell me why? You all sound like peanuts, parents. Will I ever be coming down? This is so real, finally it's my lucky day. My heart is racing, cause this shit never happens to me. I can't breathe right now. You believe me, don't you? Please believe what I've just said. See, the dead ain't touring, and this wasn't all in my head. See, they took me by the hand and invited me right in, and they showed me something I don't even know where to begin. Strapped down to my bed, feet cold and eyes red, I'm out of my head.
If you could return, don't let it burn, don't let it fade. I'm sure I'm not being rude, but it's just your attitude. It's tearing me apart, it's ruining everything. And I swore I would be true. And honey, so did you. So why were you holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Were you lying all the time? Was it just a game to you? But I'm in so deep, you know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to, do you have to, do you have to let it linger? Oh, I thought the world of you. I thought nothing could go wrong, but I was wrong, I was wrong. If you could get by, trying not to lie, things wouldn't be so confused, and I wouldn't feel so used. But you always really knew I just want to be with you. And I'm in so deep, you know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to, do you have to, do you have to let it linger? And I'm in so deep, you know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to, do you have to, do you have to let it linger? You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to, do you have to, do you have to let it linger? I remember my brother, his fate was so cruel. He saw things so different, ran it a fool. He never quit talking and followed me round, followed me swimming. I hope that he drowned. He found trouble often, each place we'd go, laughing and dancing, those same whispers would grow. He wasn't different, I was the worst friend. He didn't know that this was the end. He was my brother, Benji his name.
This is XboxEra. We're an independent, community-funded publication focused on providing the best coverage and discussion of your favourite platform, Xbox. With best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and awesome merch, XboxEra.com is your destination for the best news, reviews, and features focused on what you care about. With shows like the XboxEra podcast, headlines, and a whole heap of Patreon-exclusive content, we're proud to be an independent publication completely funded by you. If you value having an outlet truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. Everything Xbox Era does is only made possible by our community and the growing army of incredible Patreon supporters. Our executive producers and MVPs are an amazingly generous bunch, only shown up by the incredible support of our grand benefactors, Cryat56 and Assassin Entertainment. All of this under the watchful eye of our lovely Xbox Era CEO, Torn Raptor. This community is the best one on the internet, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra and pledge your support. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Xbox Era Headlines. The date today is June the 12th, and alongside some beautiful, charming jazz-like piano, we're here to talk to you about all of the latest in gaming news from across the video game industry. As a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we make audio versions of these episodes available for them to listen to in Patreon via their preferred podcast app. But if they're on Spotify, you can link your accounts with your Patreon account and listen to it there instead. If you would like to become an awesome individual like the people mentioned at the beginning of the show, head over to patreon.com/XboxEra. I am joined today by my fellow Summer Game Fest travel buddies, the lovely Jesse, the lovely Ursula. Nice to see you again, chaps.
Hi,
nice
Daddy. How are you doing today? I finally got my Go XL again.
He sure does. How you doing, Ursel?
I'm doing well. Besides that nightmare fuel you just gave me. If my audio is a little low, let me know. I can
We're
either speak
fine.
louder.
I turned you up. Yay!
Bring the mic closer. I'm good.
It's me, Harriet. Please come help me in the other room while you're trying to do a stream.
So, like, in case anyone doesn't know, like, Ursula and I hate Jesse. And
You don't say that when we're in person, though, because I'm so much bigger than both of you.
Yeah.
You know, he's right. Yeah. Oh, but I got tired, super tired. John, I think, is like dead, like walking on, like a dead man walking.
I am dead, but not as dead as I could be.
Okay.
And that's because of the wonders of melatonin, which is brilliant when it comes to air travel. So I
Jet
took
lag,
one.
yeah.
I took one last night, 10 milligrams, about 9 p.m.
Oof.
And I went to bed as normal, and I slept straight through. There was no waking up at 3 in the morning or 2. I slept. I got a full night's kip from 10 p.m. till 7 this morning. Great. Now, I'm still tired today, but I feel I would be much worse had I not been out. So I'm going to take another one tonight and get my body back into that routine. It should all be great.
I was perfect this morning. 0
It's
for me.
5 hours for you, though, isn't it?
It's 3 hours, but still. Easy peasy. Fell asleep right at about 11:30. Woke right up around 7:30. Blam. Good to go.
It's all right for some, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not that strong. I'm dead. I have so much work I need to do too.
I wrote. Well, I wrote all 3 of the Capcom. Thank you, Microsoft Start, for just deciding randomly to push them live 12 hours early. That was
Jesse,
great
bro,
of you.
I can't believe you're leaking. That
was very annoying.
It's so unprofessional.
Because I looked, everything just so scheduled on the website, but some blue sky messages went out and it went to Microsoft's Start. But if you clicked on the link, it just said 404 not found. But the Start had everything and all the pictures because I put up pictures of everything, and so whatever. Shit sucks.
Article, right?
But yeah, we got 8 previews or something up already with more to come. So
I'm rating, I think 3 or 4. I should have them all up by the end of the week.
So never.
No. End of the week isn't like 2 days. Today's what? Thursday? What day is today? Thursday. Yes. A couple days. 2 days. One's already written. All right. One's basically done, and I'm just debating if I want to do a video for it or not. That's it.
There's a lot. We saw a lot. We did a lot.
Oh yeah.
And
I did a travel blog.
It was a great vlog, by the way. I didn't mention that yet. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I did a mix jumping between footage, like with music and talking when I thought it worked. Also, consolewarsgame.com. Go buy it.
Appreciate that. There's a super chat here from good old Collingwood who says, hey, we all know you did the reaction to the Summer Showcase on the Sunday. If you'd have had the chance, would you have gone to the fan-organised event? Yeah. 100%. If we weren't working, we would have absolutely gone and chilled out and hung with everyone.
Because
I have to say,
go ahead.
Ben Kenobi and the team that put that on, they went above and beyond, man. They had custom skateboard boards, they had swag bags, they had lanyards, they had posters. Like, considering that was put on by the community for the community, and that Microsoft, although some Microsoft folks attended, there was no financial contribution to achieve whatever they wanted to achieve. I think they did an exemplary job.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back because they're delivering my goddamn groceries 2 hours late.
Nice.
There you go. That's life. That's the life of doing the live shows, isn't it, Ursel?
100%.
Sometimes your groceries don't arrive at all. Other times you've got the dog, you leave your mic unmuted. I mean, we're a professional outfit around here. Yeah. I mean, the real fact of the matter is that it's a shame that Microsoft didn't do the watch parties that they normally do, but it's so awesome that the community did step up and put something together. And so many people turned up.
I'm a little worried if this might set like a precedent in terms of Microsoft going like, oh, we don't need to put anything on if the community is going to, go ahead and do it. I hope not. Right. But yeah, I'd love to have gone. I mean, anyone who watches knows I love going and attending these things. I really like Summer Game Fest. I like sitting down with the crowd, watching ads. That's my thing.
That is your jam, is it?
That is my jam.
Your jelly roll.
Very much so.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we're going to talk through a lot of SGF. We're going to talk through a lot of the games that we've seen today, because the video game industry is only kind of really gearing back up, and there is news to discuss. There's things to talk about. Be it Switch 2, the SAG-AFTRA voice strike. We're going to go through all of these bits and pieces, but predominantly this episode, Fun Times, is going to be talking about video games. Which, surprise, is actually the thing we all really, really like. So no complaints from me on that front. So yeah, Ursel, to kick things off, you mentioned you're working on a few previews. What previews have you done and can talk about?
So the one preview I've gotten out so far is for a game called Bounty Star. It's up on the site. You can check it out. Both me and John got to play it. And it's coming out in Game Pass. I think he said this year, right? Was what they're targeting, I think. Or he said a holiday, one of the two. And it's like a mix between like farming simulation and let me unmute Jesse really quick. Farming simulation and like mech combat, which I didn't think would mix that well, even though there was like that mech farming game. That's different. That's farming in a mech. This is combat in a mech, farming and taking care of your base on the other side. And man, I don't have any cats here. It's so depressing. My parents need a cat.
Mine's both are right there begging for food, even though they've already eaten.
Of course. It's a really cool game. If you enjoy farming sims, things like that, I think it's going to have a lot for you. And one thing he stressed, because one of the coolest parts of this whole thing, in my opinion, was sitting and playing and standing right next to like someone head up in that game development. In this case, I think it was like the game director, like the guy who put it all together. So you can just pick his brain on random. If you've ever been like playing a video game and you're like, I wonder why they did this. Well, in this scenario, I can just ask. You're like, hey, why'd you name the main character this? Or hey, how long do you think the game's going to be? Or blah, blah, blah. He emphasized that the base will change and grow, which is, I love it. I love bases that grow. And more importantly, the mech combat felt great. Like it actually felt really good, as John would no doubt agree with me.
Yeah, I mean, it was painful at first watching Ursel play because he sucked so bad at the game. Like, and we all felt it. Like we were, like this, and the developer had to come in, had to switch on to video game journalist mode, just so Ursel could control everything.
All I know is I have media proof that I finished the demo, and I have media proof of the opposite with you.
It's funny as well, and I'm writing the preview for this, but we've run out of YouTube notifications today. But one of the funniest demo stories for me out of Summer Games Fest was I got to try Spine, which is gun fu. Basically, you might have seen some of the trailers for it. It's like a Batman Arkham meets I don't know. What game would I say it meets?
A little bit of Hotline Miami. Right?
Sifu. That's what I would recommend it to. Sifu meets Batman Arkham. And I'm an Xbox player predominantly with PC mixed in, but all of their pads were PlayStation DualSense.
Yeah.
And honest to God, the muscle memory for me of like going to put my thumb on the thumbstick that wasn't where I needed it to be, and seeing cross on the screen and wanting to press X. That was a hard one for my poor old journo brain to wrangle. But yeah, we'll have my thoughts up on the site on that one tomorrow.
I didn't
although
play
I can't
it.
talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but it looked a mite bit repetitive. Cool, fun, but
yeah,
they also said roughly 10 hours, which I thought was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Short one and done, perhaps.
Short king.
As long as it's priced right.
At this event, I asked that question a lot, right? Hey, how long is the game? How long is the game? Because it's something I just like asking. And I almost would feel like apprehension from like the developers when they said something like 10, 11, 12 hours. Because I think so many developers still think like people want like giant, really long games, right?
And
So
it's
they're
also
like, oh,
really
it's
hard to
10.
know. Because like every time I get
Yes.
told the time, I have it for myself, and I'm normally about
yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So for when
the
they
most-
said 10, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd be done probably
Yeah.
about 5 hours.
Yeah. Which is why I was really interested in the Mouse PI answer to that, where he's like, we know exactly how long it takes, but we're not saying. I'm like, okay, all right. But I'm hoping developers are realizing that, especially with Game Pass and other subscriptions, game length and bloat really isn't what people want anymore. You know, like it's okay. 10 hours is
There are
perfect.
some. There are
Like-
specific genres that are fine with it, like JRPGs and
Oh yeah.
some of the bigger exploration games. As long as it's there to do, not you must do it, but it's you can
Yeah.
golden path through. But if you want, there's all this content that's just repeatable. You can keep doing, and people like the choice. I think. Got a
Agreed.
membership renewal.
Yes, we did.
We do, from the lovely, and I can say that now because I've absolutely met this man in person, as have we all. BT Maverick 707, who's been a member for 3 months, who says, "Hey, it was a pleasure meeting all of you guys. Had a blast. I now know why everyone comes back to these things from these events exhausted. It took me 2 days to recover." Yeah, like it's a thing. It's 100% a thing. We also, we're obviously in LA during the protests. People call them riots. We didn't see any riots. We certainly
No.
saw protests.
Yes.
But after you guys had left, I was in the hotel. I'm in the lobby,
Yeah.
and cacophony of sirens. I'm like, what the hell? And I run over to the balcony, and I counted them. There were 30 fully manned and rigged out police SUVs just barreling up that main boulevard.
Oh my god.
In succession, and it was just like, and the noise, because they just all blasting sirens. It was crazy. Yeah, that was it was an interesting weekend with all of that going on in the background.
It was it's interesting to see disinformation in person, like
In
as
real
it's
time.
being because almost nothing was happening. But like a lot of times when you see a protest and they're trying to claim it's violent, they'll just all hover, like one thing will happen, and then everyone gets super close on it and takes a picture and tries to make it look like that's the whole scene.
Yeah.
So it's shitty.
It's made me question a lot of other things I've seen where the news has kind of said one thing, because I'm like, okay, everyone thinks LA is burning to the ground right now. I've got people messaging me asking me if I'm okay. I'm like, dude, nothing's happening, man. Like,
LA is a big place.
we went to a dinner Sunday in a different part of LA, and I'm worried, oh man, is it going to be worse? The entire restaurant was packed, full of and no offense, white people, meaning they felt fully safe. In that
what?
sense. Okay, in that sense, like
I go places where I don't feel safe. I went to America. Oh wait, the safest not good thing.
But yeah, it was great meeting BT. It was honestly probably my favorite part of the event was just meeting so many people, man.
Yeah.
Like
There was,
it's not a money maker for us as much as it was a networking and getting to see cool stuff thing and bringing people a lot of preview coverage.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think, and I we say it's not a money maker, and it's never really the point. Like you go to these things to report on stuff, but it's more like we hope, like especially our Patreon backers, because they got kind of like more behind the scenes photos and updates and things like that.
Yeah, they've got a whole huge Imgur gallery of photos that we took.
Yeah.
But we also have we just wanted to bring what it was like to be at these events to you. If you're not able to attend and you haven't got the money to, or you just want to know more about some of the games from the perspective of people who actually play games, then it's nice, right? And that's the plan. That's what we like to go and do and bring you guys. So many thanks to everybody that supports us, because now that's done, we're eyes turning to Gamescom, and I was browsing Airbnb this morning. I actually found a pretty reasonable Airbnb, which I think we might be able to wrangle. The only thing that comes out of that is travel, which obviously you're going to be you're going to be the man that needs that big ticket.
Yes, because there's no chance we can afford Nick. Nick would be like 10 of my tickets to get him there the way he would want to go there.
Oh God, yeah,
that's true. That is true. But hey,
it's looking like it's pretty important to go, in the sense of like so many people are gonna developers are gonna be there, and I'm kind of hopeful that after Summer Game Fest and like playing relatively big games, because we did, right? We got to play Tony Hawk. We got to get appointments for essentially anything we really wanted,
except for playing Resident Evil, like others got to.
Only like a few, like 2 or 3.
I know it was it was like six, it was the top like 5 of the top, or it was 5 or 6
sites
of the big, the biggest of the big,
like the biggest sites. Yeah.
I mean, and let's talk about some of that, and chat, pipe up, please. Like we've seen things. I got to play with the ROG Xbox
Ally
X. I got to see it and hold it in person and use the interface. The guys have played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I think the demo's out now.
You could have. You just were like, I don't want to play it. I'm not into these games.
I had a quick go, but I have zero interest. Oh my God, cat! Stop breaking the things.
The ROG Ally X, John, is as you and Ursel both have an Ally, I believe. I've got the Legion going, the Steam Deck. Tell me why it's somehow even better than all of those. That's all I heard. It was just the best. It's like the best handheld.
Ally X in itself, in terms of specs, is probably the bestest.
Yeah.
The Xbox Ally X, these naming monikers, but whatever. It's a part of the product.
You can't blame Microsoft this time around. All right, to be fair,
I can a little bit, because they do this and they make a white one and a black one, but they don't call the white one the Xbox Ally S, which is like, hello, lads, it's right there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, like if you already owning an existing handheld, if you already own an Xbox Ally X, an Ally X, not an Xbox Ally X, if you already own one of Asus's ROG Allies, there's a part of me that says you don't need this, because to my understanding, a lot of these updates in terms of the operating system improvements and back end stuff that they've made is going to kind of be available to more than just the Ally X. However, the actual comfort of the device, I went from looking like this looks pretty derpy, just like the Portal, the PlayStation Portal, to when you're actually holding it, you kind of just don't even realize that. Like, I like a weighty pad, like I've got one of these, the Nexon Revolution X Unlimited, and I actually take the back covers off and insert 16-gram weights in either paddle, right? So I like something heavy, and it is heavier. I think it's like 715 grams.
And Paris in the chat saying the updates won't be available until 2026, which it's like it's a thing they'd be working on.
That sounds about right.
Mike is also in the chat calling you a bully, John.
Mick?
Fucking
You mean Mike?
Damn Mike Straw.
I said Mike, yeah.
I sound like Mick. Are you being racist?
But I mean, like, it's got a load of subtle improvements. Like, as the screen is like subtly angled. You don't even notice it. But
what do you mean? You mean like angled inwards?
It's
so
angled.
When you're holding it, it's just it's not flat to the device.
Like it has like an offset. Like
it has an offset so that it's a little better straight on, and you don't have to like hold it at angles or hold it with your wrists so that the thing is straight on.
Yeah, the current Ally, it really does, after a while of extended use, it kind of digs into your palms because it's just flat. And having the ergonomics of what genuinely just feels like an Xbox pad either side is nice and comfortable. And performance wise, it was really, really good. I got to play maybe around in total, maybe around 20 minutes of Gears of War Reloaded. And it looks incredible on a handheld. And what I really like is, and I think this is going to become a bit of a mandate now within Microsoft, and obviously, recommended to other game developers through their GDK, etc., is device awareness. Now, anyone that plays on a handheld, if you play a big AAA game, let's say Assassin's Creed Shadows, sometimes in itty bitty text, and you're like, what am I doing? And you're trying to read this stuff. Whereas, you know, these device aware kind of developers now can kind of say, hey, I'm playing on this. Let's, you know, increase the font size.
So that reminds me a lot, if anyone's ever done web development, of responsive web design, right? Which has been the thing for the last like 10 years, which is just you change what you're seeing based on your viewport, like the size of your screen. And they have different like things set up. It looks like game developers are going to need to start looking into that too. That's going to be the next big thing.
A lot of games have it. It's just having it automatically apply it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
like
that's
you can go in and adjust it, but having all of this stuff sort of built out there is really good, and it is lovely to see Paris and Mike in the chat. Paris, we caught up with him several times over the weekend. Just this ominous figure wandering around who's taller than everybody else, or at least taller than me by several feet.
Lots of talkings there as well.
Oh my god, so many taller people. Like,
I'm very sure. But me and Ursula are vertically challenged.
I am average for my ethnicity. Is all I will say.
All right. So if you're average for your ethnicity, does that just make me short? Is that just how that rolls?
Aren't British people like? Actually, no.
We're all short, I'm not ugly, hairy.
No. Are you guys on average shorter than Americans or no?
I have no idea.
The average height in England is 5'9".
Oh, ouch. Okay.
But yeah, and Mike is one of the folks that writes for I can't even remember the name of the outlet now. But I think they're doing a review of Console Wars, the card game, which I'm actually looking forward to reading because Mike was reviewing it with me, and I was not being kind. At one point, Mike's name was O for 4 straw. Mike O for 4 straw, and it only took some bullying in front of Phil Spencer in the JW lobby to kind of make Mike go, and he ripped his shirt off in the lobby, and he was like, oh, and he won. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
Oh god, a lot of console wars, a lot, and man, John is if Cobra Kai existed, he would be a member. Is all I'd say.
It's that angry Napoleon syndrome, you know. The little short guys get real mad. But
John.
Speaking of console warring, as Navy Shadow brings up, I did watch the Digital Foundry video, and boy, they were super negative. I was surprised. They didn't touch it.
I don't think, and I might be wrong, but I feel like they did not get invited to go and actually touch the device.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it. Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
Tom Henderson telling Mike to please get back to work in the chat.
Yeah, publish this Console Wars review. I want a good laugh. Please.
John, how much did you mess with like the UI? Because that's like my biggest kind of question is, does it feel smooth? Can you switch between things quickly? You know?
So yes, it's really hard to like, because obviously I'm doing a lot of this from memory, and they show off a few videos and stuff. But nutshell, you boot up the Ally.
No Windows.
And you just don't see Windows. And if anyone that owns a current Ally, like it is the worst thing about it. And I was saying to Jason Ronald, and I you know, because I'm a nice chap, I was like, you know, no offense, but Windows absolutely is the worst thing about this. She was like, why would I be offended? It's true. So, it is. It gets in the way. It pops up things at the wrong time. Windows as an operating system, at least in its current state, was just not designed to support this sort of device. And with the Xbox Ally X, you press the new Nexus button, and that's the first time the Xbox Guide button has been on a co-branded device, like with their thing. Like this whole thing is a co-branded device. It's been on controllers and stuff, but like this is someone else's hardware, right? And it's not in a circle for the first time. It's on
like a rhombus,
a trapezoid.
Yeah.
You press the button, and it brings up the game bar. And the game bar, we've all heard that phrase, and if you're on Windows, you're kind of like, you know, but it's this neat little contextual pop-up, and it comes up on the left side of the screen. I think there's some screenshots, if it helps, Jesse, on the preview article I wrote.
I refuse to look at it.
Okay, that's fine.
The main issue with the game bar on Windows is that it has to load in its own overlay instead of just being a quick snap. And for anyone wondering, you still can boot into Windows on the Ally X, the Xbox version. But by default, it just goes to their Xbox OS-ified version of it.
John, you have an ally, right? So you know the one, I forgot the button's called, the armory crate button, whatever, and it brings up like that control panel. Does that still come up on this?
They
too, or
haven't
no?
really said what that's going to do yet, since
Yeah,
that would be exactly what the Xbox button does.
So yeah, the button is still there.
Okay.
And to my memory, I think I pressed it.
Yeah.
And I think it just did the same thing. The only thing I think it did differently. So when you press the guide button, it brings you to the home page of the guide, and if you can left and right bumper between all the different sections as you would do on a console, right? And on the left, the furthest left, is the Armory Crate application. I think that all that button does is take you straight to that Armory Crate application within the game bar.
Okay, all right.
Our ads are overlaying on top of the pictures when you click into them. This looks terrible.
That's not good.
That's not supposed to do that.
I will ping the...
Yeah, over here. Oh, no, but just open a fucking ad. Go to hell, State Farm.
But yeah, it's a game-changing device. The thing that really impressed me as well was just how intuitive it all felt. Like you just used it like a console, and it felt like a console. Even switching between applications.
Here's
like
part of the game bar. You can't see most of it, thanks to this ad.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, when you actually press the you're kind of in that task switching mode. Like Gears was still running, like seamlessly in its own little window, and you could kind of flick like you would on an app tray.
Yeah, and that's where you can check like the different stores and things like that, Steam, blah blah blah, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's very cool. I was very impressed.
How do I turn
there are
ad block on?
questions I have. Like I don't know.
Did you have a chance to ask questions too, like battery life stuff like that? Or no? Okay.
There was no Q&A, but battery life is similar to the X.
It's 80 watt hours.
How much do you get for the X? Because X has better battery life than mine. That's why I'm
so one of the main issues with battery life on all of them is all the shit running in the background on Windows. So by default, having that out not only helps with your battery life, but also the actual footprint of the memory is like halved already. So hopefully it'll be a little better.
Okay, all right. I generally play mine plugged in, to be honest, and I didn't bring it this time because I didn't have room. But yeah, great device.
I've never seen a man live out of a laptop bag before, but you did it. You did it well. I was impressed. But yeah, like I want to see more. The device I find more interesting because the Xbox Ally X has the impulse triggers. It's got it's targeting 1080p. It's got 120 hertz screen, and the screen is the same on both devices. But they are deliberately labeling the white Xbox Ally as 720p gaming. Yeah. So there's going to be some form of upscaling going on there on that 1080p screen. It's got
there's I'm pretty sure there's an NPU. Like I saw some people saying the rumors of the PS6 would be the first one with like machine learning, but I thought there's supposed to be an NPU for that in the Ally in the X.
I don't know about the X has AI in some form.
That's what NPU you need NPUs to run that.
No, but do you think there'd be like an NPU chip in there? I feel like they advertised that.
It's part of the AMD chipset. I think it's the Z2.
Yeah, Z2 Extreme, which they also call like their AI chips. No.
But the Ally, the standard white one, just has the same Z2A chip with maybe some tweaks. I don't know, and I'm not.
They called it tweaks, like it's a tuned version of the old one.
Steam Deck, and that's 3 or 4 years old at this point. Yes. So I'm like, why did they go for that one? And when we got the presentation, the head of Xbox hardware, Ryan Soames, said, and I paraphrasing, but the quote is in my preview. Feel free to go read it on XboxEra.com. It was the best balance of like performance and power and yada yada. Of any handheld on the market. And I'm like, okay. And I can understand. And it really just comes down to price now. Yeah. If they can get that, if they can make the Xbox Ally, the white one, reasonable, like
at least 600
within the Switch 2.
Not a chance.
No, that's what they need to do. Otherwise,
not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, then there's no point to it.
What do you mean?
What price do you think it'll be, John?
I think if they can target. And this is whether Microsoft are willing to subsidize it in some form. You've got to remember, this is the first time we've seen a console manufacturer subsidize and partner up with another hardware manufacturer to make a console because they're labeling it an Xbox. So I think that's the distinction. This isn't an OEM partnership where here's Windows, go do what you want. This is the Xbox brand partnering with another hardware manufacturer. So if Microsoft are smarter than the average bear, they should subsidize one of these.
Nothing is subsidized anymore. Nothing.
Well,
the ROG Ally, just by itself, without any of this other stuff or tweaks or anything that they're doing with the Xbox version, $650. The Ally X is up to like $1,000. They're not going anywhere near the price
and
of
how
a
much is the
Switch.
Steam Deck?
It starts at like $450 for the god awful versions and goes up to
hit.
But those versions suck. It's bad hardware.
It's the original. The white Ally is around the same kind of ballpark in terms.
It's
of
not.
performance.
It's right.
Oh,
But it's right here,
significantly
$650.
better, isn't it?
The original Ally destroys the Steam Deck.
Well, I don't know, folks.
The Steam Deck is
Microsoft
a
now.
little weaker than a Switch. Like the Steam Deck is not strong. The Switch 2, I mean.
Steam Deck's essentially for indies, really, more than anything else. I feel.
Yeah, you cannot play modern AAA games on a Steam Deck.
The $399 Steam Deck is it's literally just an indie thing. The next is $550, then $650.
Yeah.
Um,
The super cheap one, no one should buy.
yeah. It's
The
just
one
really
everybody
simple.
wants is $650
Yeah.
with the OLED.
But I'm my personal guess was I think what $750 I said and then $899. Yeah, that's my guess.
Oh yeah, like if we're going by pure like what Asus are pricing the Ally now,
Yeah.
$900. But at that point, this becomes an incredibly niche. It's just a nice to have, right? If you've got the money to do it, go and do it. It really depends upon what Microsoft want to achieve from this. This is a tentative first step, right? People make a big deal about the Steam Deck and how the Steam Deck Verified program and all of that, but we're talking like 4 or 5 million units.
Yeah, it was a little over 4 last time I saw it.
And yet sales are so important for console hardware. So, do we, is there a fuss to be made over 4 million units? Or because this is an Xbox, this is being branded as an Xbox, it's being advertised as an Xbox in partnership, is this going to get a similar big console push and launch? In which case, I would hope to see some seriously competitive pricing from Microsoft, like genuinely. And I'm not talking like, the components within this Ally X, the Xbox Ally. Sorry, there's too many X's in Xbox's naming conventions. The white Xbox Ally. The majority of it, there's no massively expensive OLED screen, right? There is a chipset that's similar to the Steam Deck. There's half the storage. There's half the RAM, right? Or not half, but much less.
8 gigs less, yeah.
Yeah. So price it competitively. They should be targeting that Switch 2 price in order to move units. If they don't, fine. It's not my call. I don't care.
Switch 2 is
the Switch 2 is 4.
US?
No, the Switch 2 is 450. They're not going to be within 100 of that.
If you see a 5 in the Xbox Ally's price, then that's fantastic. Like in the first number.
Then they're subsidizing.
What if
it.
it's 895?
No, in the first number. In the first number.
Okay.
If it's like $599, for example, I could see that possibly happening. You're right for like the weaker one.
It's too
But
much.
that would be the best price.
That would be by far the cheapest PC gaming handheld. That would be actually good hardware.
Yeah.
And the Z2 Extreme chips are $100 to $150 more than the old chips. And it's got all that extra memory and all that shit. It's going to be like $800-900 at least. Because the regular ROG LAX is $900 right now. They upped the price by $100.
That's using the same chip as the regular ROG Ally, right? Like the ROG Ally X and the ROG Ally
LAX is a little different with a bigger battery and stuff, and it's $900.
More RAM, bigger battery.
No, it's not the same chip though.
No, it is. It's the exact same chip in both.
No,
in
it's
both
not.
ones.
It's
I'm like,
definitely not.
We're talking about the
95%.
regular Asus, not
Sorry,
the
the
Xbox
regular.
versions.
Not the Xbox one.
The Ally X, the regular one, uses an Extreme chip.
No, the other. It's still called.
No, the Extreme chips, and so it's the Z1 Extreme versus the Z2A. There's like a whole. There's just you're jumping around.
No, he's talking about. Here, John. Let me just show you.
But both the ROG Ally and ROG Ally X use the Z1 Extreme. They both use the exact same chip.
Yes.
Yeah.
It also seems to be suggesting that
Not the Xbox one. We said not the Xbox one.
Ally and the Ally X.
Yes, the standard Ally and the Ally X
use the same.
use the
processor.
exact same chip.
Check the image I just sent in the
They do.
Discord. That's from Best Buy. They do. They have the same processor.
Yeah, the Ally X has more RAM and more battery.
Which
both
is why
use the
I
Z1
could
Extreme.
see. One thing's for sure: the ROG Ally. Oh my god, you got me now too. The Xbox ROG Ally X, or is it ROG Ally?
You can
Xbox
just say Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X, or Asus Ally and Asus Ally X.
The
That's
Xbox
it.
Ally X will be significantly more expensive
Yeah.
than the Xbox Ally, like in the $300, $400 range. I think more.
Shame. But yes. Yeah, that is expected. I just want them with the white one. They've got to hit a good price point, I think.
I agree.
The,
I think $599, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, in the market right now, $599 would be a very good price point comparatively to everyone else.
Yeah. Like
because it still runs a lot better. It doesn't have the OLED screen of the Steam Deck, but in every other way, it is significantly better.
So the Switch 2 is not an OLED screen either, right?
No, it's a really good LCD screen.
It looks really flipping good.
Yeah, LCD, like the LCD on the Legion Go, top tier. Oh, better.
Speaking of the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, John.
You wasted money.
What kind of impulse buy territory?
So let me tell you all the story, right? When we got there was a Target down the road, and we wandered down there to get some supplies and stuff, and there were no Switch 2s. They were sold out. That was on the Thursday. However, as time wore on, we went to visit it last day before I flew home, and round the corner there were 2 hardware bundles for the Switch 2 with Mario Kart World. And I did the math, and for me, with my English money, I would be picking up a Switch 2 with Mario Kart World for 370 quid. So I said, yeah, all right, I'll take a punt on that. So I just bought it. So now I have one, but now I can talk from a place of knowledge.
It feels fucking cheap compared to actual handhelds.
It doesn't feel cheap.
Well,
the materials feel great.
It feels like
horrible.
Yeah, I didn't mean it feels like it's It doesn't feel chintzy or plasticky. It's a very different tier of product. Like the Switch 2 is aiming to be something they can make money on at $450, whereas the Legion Go I have, the Steam Deck even, as you talked about with Allies, the various versions, they feel like an upper tier that is worth that extra money. Also, I played Shadow Labyrinth on a Switch 2 Pro controller, and it felt like greasy ass. Like it's just super slippery for some reason with no tactile feel. I don't get it.
They've chosen, in my opinion, a very poor material, like for extended gameplay sessions. And you know, I played Mario Kart World Tour on my plane. And let me take a moment to tell you my experience of trying to set up my Switch 2. First, I had to remember the login for my Nintendo Online account. Now, thankfully, I recovered that pretty well and got logged in. But then it wouldn't let me redeem the code that came with it because I was in America and
you
my
bought an
account
American
was
code
in the UK.
Are you serious?
So then, even though it's region fucking free,
the games are not.
Then I had to Then I had to create a new Nintendo account that was based in America just so I could redeem the code and install the game.
Wait, but now that code is tied to your new account, though, right?
Yep. And this is where it gets me, right? And then I thought, I'll go re-download my old games. So I've got some other stuff to play from my Nintendo account because I bought them. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, chat, how easy do you think this would be? Right? Let's just think about it. I know it's Nintendo, but surely even they go, John Clark, that's his account. He's bought these games as digital products. Ergo, he can go to the store and re-download them to his device. Yes, we're all in agreement that that's normal to expect. Yes?
Yeah.
No. If I did that, I would have had to disassociate them from my current Switch, right? Making them not usable. No. I have to go home first before I can re-download
the new game sharing
system.
system
Switch
is
next to it.
Awful.
I'm like, what is this?
You might need to actually format the new Switch back to factory setting and redo if you want to transfer your saves and all that crap from what I've heard, you can only do that in the very initial setting of the.
It was the dumbest thing.
Also, looking at Mario Kart here, Sonic Crossworlds fucking destroys it. Sonic Crossworlds was so good.
Crossworlds.
Yes,
you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
There was no embargo on the Sega stuff from what I remember.
It's in the there's like half a race is in the vlog footage. If you guys want to go check that out. John, really quick. John, you were indeed correct. With the Asus ROG Ally, they had 2 models. The very base initial model did not have the Z1 Extreme processor.
Thank you.
That's one I have, by the way. But now they don't sell one without it. There's a
Yeah,
white version
right.
that's cheaper, and then
So yes, so now that this one has the same processor as the Steam Deck with tweaks, I'm hoping that they can hit that maybe in the upper 400s range. Like I would love to see them come out, you know, big dick swinging and be like $399 motherfuckers, because that would fucking sell. But they won't, let's be honest, not in this day and age.
No one's looking to lose any money.
But 449, 499, maybe good.
Nope, not a chance.
It's the only way it's going to be competitive.
you know what? Wait, it is the same processor as the Steam Deck, huh? I could see that then. I could see it under 5. Like there's a chance, a very low chance, but it's there.
Well, this is my thing. If it's not being treated, because you've got to remember the buying power of Microsoft as a partner, you know, to all of these chip manufacturers versus a smaller company is significantly different. So if they really want to sell it, you know, they buy in significant bulk, that it makes it possible, right, to do
Just
that
want the
price. But
specs.
it's up to Microsoft. But anyway, Sonic Crossworlds, talk to me about this, because I've played a lot of Mario Kart World Tour, and my review is it's Mario Kart again.
Yep.
Anyway,
I've heard the open world is just barren and empty.
I'm just bored. I'm like, it's fun with friends, but on my own, I'm just like moderately bored with it. So far, worst £370 I've ever spent. But hopefully they'll have some good stuff to come out, and I might catch up on some Switch games.
Yep, Donkey
that I haven't
Kong.
played.
Eventually.
So what I've heard is it's a good way to just play old Switch games if you haven't played them at like proper frame rates now. Apparently the latest Pokemon game is like night and day. Like more Pokemon
they actually
will physically
ported that
appear.
one.
Like
I'm looking at this Sonic Crossworlds footage, and it looks awesome.
It is amazing. It feels great. It's really pretty. Full crossplay, full everything. The roster looks like it's going to be enormous. I took a picture of it. There was like 80 slots. Who knows if they all
you did
fill
take
up?
a picture, huh?
Yeah.
Could you send me that picture? Because I
It's in the blog. Go to it's in the Injure
nice.
gallery.
Okay.
So
I'll check that out.
it is a Sonic game that we got to see. But there's a heavy emphasis on the Crossworlds thing, where you are jumping between different IP and there's different characters.
So right here in the footage, while he's there really quick, if you're at the very front of the race, there's I think a couple times per map, maybe just once per map, you get to choose between 2 choices, and then the rest of the race has to follow you in that choice. And one's like a random map, or a map of the other map that you choose, and like the race transforms into one lap of that map.
Cool.
It's really interesting, and then you get thrown back in for the last lap in the map that you normally started in. Like it was really cool. I did not know anything going into this game really, other than that it was Sonic racing. So it's really cool seeing like stuff like this. Sorry, Jesse, I cut you off. Keep.
Oh no, it was the same thing. It's pretty much they have that jumping between, doing the stuff where it's got all the weapons you'd expect. Heavy emphasis on drifting, and it's back to jumping between various versions of vehicles.
Yes.
A big change is your build. So you can essentially, as you play, you'll unlock a bunch of different gadgets, and then you use those gadgets to completely customize how you want to play, instead of it just being tied to a car.
Like a lot of customization. Like they had a couple sample builds. Like, hey, you can check these out.
Suggested builds.
Suggested builds. Sorry, one was, and the one I did was for advanced players, and I got flipping destroyed. By the way, I got maybe like 5th place in my Grand Prix. But it was a drift build. So it's like I got upgrades to my drifts. I can now drift 1 level higher. Rather than capping at 3, I cap at 4. My drift builds quicker. But it's like I'm on a flipping a board. So if I touch anyone, I start flipping spinning because I have no weight at all to my character.
Oh,
yeah, they've added in like almost a ping pong mechanic. So depending on how big and heavy you are, if you slam into other people, depending on your speed, you can just bump them and knock them out of stuff. Which is different.
Wow. I mean, I'm watching it, and it's immediately more lively and interesting than Mario Kart World Tour. So, like, and this pleases me. How many races per race? Is it up to 24?
3 plus. Oh, how many racers?
Like, how many cars on
It's like
track?
15.
I think it was 15.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Then probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, probably 16. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a great community night game, especially as it's on everything.
Oh, you're right. That'd be fun.
That'd be really fun. It'd be really, really fun. I'm intrigued. When's this coming out?
September, right?
Yeah, this year, a few months.
So many good games this year.
I'll have my full preview out soon, but like this plate system, it's not just like I can make myself drift more. It's like I can change the type of items I'm going to get in the game.
Yeah, you get 3 points on each Like you get 3 points up, 3 points down, and each different ability has a different cost to it for customizing your racer. There's the different cars that feel different, and they made drifting easier. It's not both triggers; it's just right trigger to jump between drifts. Also, if you're drifting in a boat, right trigger will also make you jump when you're in the boat. You can still drift in planes. It felt
and the
perfect.
planes are inverted default. Thankfully, nice, good, very, very intuitive. No, it's really cool. The Grand Prix system is really fun, where it's like you play the 3 races in your Grand Prix, and then for the final 4th race, you play 1 lap of each race. Ooh. I really liked that.
And it transforms. You go through the ring. Yeah, that's so smart.
I know. And I mean, the big selling point for people is the new fancy characters, Hatsune Miku. But honestly, dude, this is just a really damn good racer. Like I'm in.
You watch it score worse than Mario Kart World Tour.
Of course.
Why? Sure. Why though?
Because you add 5 to most Nintendo first-party big releases.
All right, I'm conscious of time because this has kind of just been an SGF because my kids get back in.
Who cares about your kids? Tell them to shut up.
So we played Tony Hawk's with Jesse. Put together the preview. That's out. Mixtape. My preview is out. I would make a trailer, not a trailer, a video version of that preview, but. There are a couple of reasons. I chatted with Annapurna afterwards and I was like, I would really like to do this. And they said, we want to keep a lot of, like the laugh out loud moment. So I referenced French kissing in the preview for Mixtape. Without going into details, let's just say you are fully in control of that kiss, right? And there's lots of moments of laugh out loud craziness in Mixtape that Annapurna want to kind of preserve. So they're not, like they're like, we don't want to release a half hour of B roll people. So it's more about like preserving that surprise. So you'll have to do with a written one on the trailers for that. Gears Reloaded, hilariously, that video has done like 18,000. That was slapped together by Jesse. I did the audio with my explosive comments, and Jesse threw that video together.
Just broke 20K.
Mad. Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers. There's a preview out on the site.
Yeah.
Feel free to interrupt me if there's one you want to embellish upon.
No, just pretty much Wu-Chang is the closest one, and is coming to Game Pass and is freaking amazing. And then Crimson Desert, we got to play for about an hour. If you're looking for an enormous, crazy Korean open world RPG, I think it's open. It might be open world, but it's like a super physics and chemistry heavy RPG. Like really focused on almost third person like fighting mechanics.
So that was another game that had the DualSense, right? I could see you struggling. Like these
it was the first time I'd used it in a while, and the DualSense hurts my hands. So after 20 minutes, they were starting to cramp because of the shape.
I know it's an hour-long demo. They gave you a good time with that.
Yeah, and I beat everything.
Looks beautiful.
So it felt good.
Quick side note. Mike Straw, not 0 for 4. Auto upgrade system for younger players in Sonic Crossworlds. Is that
no
idea?
idea?
You guys know?
Nope.
There were a good amount of assists, I think.
They have a lot. They have full drive. They have full assists as far as the upgrades went for the gadgets. I didn't see one, but
even if you don't have the assists, one thing I really liked about the game was if you're attacked and hit by random stuff, you don't just stop moving. It's not like Mario Kart, where like boom, dead stop. You're still going towards the direction you need to go towards it.
Even if you're flattened as a giant truck lands on top of you and you're just a smush, you're smushing forward at a slow pace.
Yes. So I think they did. Like it's still a kart game. It's still going to be unbalanced in the sense where you're not going to get first every time.
There's a lot of defensive moves, which are nice. And when you've got a little item that's defensive, it's got a shield, or you got your offensive like sword ones. So makes it nice and obvious.
Yeah.
What else? We have
Shinobi was the best game of the show. My God, as pretty as Art of Vengeance is, it plays just as well. Like it felt so good to play that game. The impacts on hits, they had that like that full slowdown. I'm fucking shit up feeling on it. I got to play the first 2 levels. Amazing. We all saw the theater presentation. Resident Evil 9 was pretty boring. Onimusha looked incredible, and then I got to play Pragmata, which was surprisingly interesting and fun. Like a very innovative AAA game. You don't get to see that much. The main mechanic on it is you got a little android lady on your back who can hack the other robots. You can't do any damage to them until you aim at them with the left trigger, use the face buttons to go through a little grid puzzle and hack their armor, and then you can blow them up. John's doing his Lego Party one. We all really enjoyed that, especially when I
so much fun.
stole.
It's out. Lego Party's
Oh
out.
yeah, it's out. I stole
out.
the
right now.
I stole the game from Ursel and gave it to our host, who was
So,
trying
yes,
to
there
lose
were three
really
of us.
hard.
There were 3 of us playing, right? So a host jumped in to be the 4th person, and she was trying so hard to lose. Every single mini game, she's like failing on purpose, way in the back, falling off, blah blah blah.
She fucking stole it, didn't she?
And we're no,
hustled
she didn't
us,
do
mate.
anything.
No,
She
I
didn't.
gave her the gold block. Once it wasn't on me, I was like, "Oh, fine, whatever. I'll go to her."
So the game, you'll read John's preview, but it's Mario Party, right? It's called Lego Party. It's fun, set like the set of like a game
It
show.
doesn't have the bullshit gold stars at the end either.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. I'm like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen?
We saw Mouse
Lego Party
PI.
was really good.
Mouse PI looks
Mouse
fun. We didn't get to play it, but we saw it and it looked really good.
And Troy Baker sounded great. I think he did a great
Yeah,
job.
just doing an old gangsta voice.
Look out for a preview for me coming from that by the end of the week or weekend, I'd say.
Eventually, one for
You said,
Marvel
hey,
Cosmic.
whoa, we can't let Ursel get away with this
Whoa,
crap.
whoa. No,
You
no.
said fucking end of the week, mate.
Well, he's
no
also
Saturday.
he's also got one that he can't do until next week, so he's got an
Yes,
excuse because
yes.
he's
Look out
got
for
his-
that.
we will
No,
eventually
that one will come out right on time.
we will eventually have a Marvel Cosmic Invasion preview, as Ursula got to play that. Can't say anything more. Code Vein 2 looked really neat and very different from the first one, which was all about vampires, and now it's just time vampires. They did explain it is a sequel and it makes sense in their anime logic.
I did like how it was convenient where like you go back in the past, like these guys want to kill you, and in the present, these guys want to kill you. Everyone wants to kill you, so you always have enemies to attack. I'm like, okay, all right.
You played Toa, a little roguelike from
And the
Bandai Namco.
Guardians of the Tree, I think.
Yeah, another one you've got to write up.
Yes. Well, it's already like half
Firefighter?
written. It's already half written.
Okay. I did. I played the Pac-Man. It's more Bandai Namco inspired Shadow Labyrinth, where it's not. Yeah, you're walking around with Puck, the Pac-Man, as you're doing your Metroidvania stuff, but it's full of stuff from Bandai Namco history. Like it's just a game of Bandai Namco's history.
The guy was talking about how it's like in the timeline of like Bamco games. I'm like, what?
The interesting thing I've definitely noticed, and I think this is prevalent across the industry now, is legacy studios like Sega, like Bandai Namco, and others, and PlayStation obviously do it all the time. Nintendo, that's their lifeblood. Realizing the value of their IP and the value of the nostalgia that's attached to it for a lot of modern gamers, and are deliberately making games that lean into those things. Like this Sonic Kart Racer is going to probably have more partnerships than Mario Kart ever will in terms of characters. You know? We've got Bandai Namco with Shadow Labyrinth doing this thing. You've got like pulling in what's his face from Like a Dragon into these games. It's all of this stuff, and it's just becoming more and more evident to me that these games are kind of smartening up on that regard. Because like I was hearing some of the reactions to some of these characters, and I was like, okay, like chill out. All right, like to wrap up the SGF talk before we hammer through some news quickly. Ursel, favorite thing you played at SGF, and if not played, favorite thing you saw?
Can't talk about it.
You could say your favorite thing you played is you can
No.
say if it,
Okay, favorite thing I played
give
that I
any
can talk about
impressions.
is probably God damn it, Wu Chang. Wu Chang just played super smooth. I'm fully in. Like I'm gonna play the crap out of that game.
Jesse, what about you?
I didn't play a single bad game, so it's a really hard thing to answer.
Yeah.
Like everything I played there was either good
to your
or
head.
great. So
Gun
I
to your
won't.
head.
I refuse to compare 'em.
I'll answer for him because visually, dude, Crimson Desert looked unreal. Like in the point where literally, I told a friend of mine, I'm like, "Hey, I saw it being played." He's like, "I don't believe you. I don't believe that game still exists."
It's their
I'm like,
own
bro, I
engine.
saw it being played like in front of me.
I played an hour of it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's their own engine. It looks and runs great. I don't think it was doing like any upscaling, yet it was still that giant scope with
I mean,
that
it
many
was
people on
probably
screen.
like a super beefy PC, to be fair. Right?
Was it 4080? I think it was 4080.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
not too bad. Okay.
I mean, it's $1,000 card for most people, but still.
Everything's $1,000 card, dude. Come
I
on.
know.
Well, mine was Mixtape, like
Oh,
undoubtedly
yes,
so.
yes.
I thought visually it was the most interesting
Mm.
in that it was this wonderful, beautifully lit, stylized piece of like gorgeousness, and it made me laugh. And that's always a good thing when it comes to games that are going for that. If it actually gets a genuine guffaw out of me, I'm all in. And like, there's one last really serious matter here, so I want to get serious for a second. If Ursel's parents are watching, we need to have a conversation about your son's language.
Incoming Lies.
because
One lie, one truth.
it was heard by a member of the XboxEra team that Ursel dropped an F-bomb.
And by a person who is making that Shadow
No,
Labyrinth at
you
Bandai
fully-
Namco.
We've reached
He
out
was
to that
bullied.
member of staff at the demo desk and sent an apology letter on behalf of XboxEra for the foul language used. Ursel, is there anything you'd like to say for yourself about...
Deception.
I caught it and called it out immediately, and he's still just trying to say it didn't happen.
I am
Honestly,
being
it was so
gaslit
cute.
in real time here.
I paused the game to point it out because I was so shocked when it happened.
Oh, dear. all right. Let's do some news very quickly.
Yeah, like the Xbox showcase and the state of play will hit on the podcast with Nick.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we
already did the state of play, but
We
the
did-
Xbox
we did the state of
showcase,
play.
yeah, the
Showcase
Xbox
was-
showcase and stuff that was after last week's show. We'll get into it in the next podcast, which
Well,
Ursula should
we'll
be
talk
on.
about that.
Yep. This Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, I obviously contributed to this. You're welcome, Nintendo. But the Switch 2 is the fastest selling console ever.
Yep,
Is that fastest selling ever or fastest selling Nintendo?
fastest
console?
selling ever because it's had the best supply ever. Nothing's ever
Oh,
had this
okay.
much supply, but I mean, people are buying it still, so
Yeah,
they were smart.
3.5 million units in just 4 days. Pretty impressive.
It took a month to hit almost 3 million on the Wii, I think, or something like that, or the Switch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I wonder though, will that pace keep up? And
No.
I'm gonna think.
I don't
no.
think so.
Not at all.
I don't
The
think
fact that I was finding them like a few days after launch in the US really surprised me.
Well, I think they know that. That's why everything's so much more expensive. They're not expecting to sell 140 million again.
Yeah. Anyways, next up, SAG-AFTRA, the voice actor strike that has been going on for that particular group, has reached a tentative agreement, and the strike action has now been suspended
Over a
So,
year.
What does that mean? It means that like development of Hideo Kojima's OD can now progress with all the
Yeah,
actors
they
being
were-
allowed back on set.
They were striking
Um,
very specific companies. It wasn't everyone. That's why there were still games coming out with people voiced, because those companies were like, sure, we'll give you AI assurances. It was the companies who wouldn't do that were having a problem.
Yeah, so it included Activision, Disney.
Mm.
Yeah, hang on. Oh no. I'm reading that wrong. Let me read. Tentative agreement. I think those are the companies that included in SAG-AFTRA. So, oh man, this is too much.
The exact companies they struck against, I forget. But I don't think it was any of the Xbox ones. It was PlayStation and some here and there.
Mm.
I think it's more if you're an actor as well and you're a member of SAG-AFTRA. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
who wants to go, what you can't. And that was starting to piss off a lot of the people that were members of that group
Mhm.
because it was like, I want to go work, please.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm glad it's been solved anyway. Hope fingers crossed it sticks the landing.
Yeah. I know Steve Downs
elsewhere-
is happy, so I mean, if he's happy, I'm happy. Like,
Good.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, Sony have made layoffs at Days Gone developer Bend Studio. I mean, didn't they do this once already?
Yeah.
For Bend?
No, this is another one. Another 40
This is
people.
another one.
Yep. It's not that big of a studio, and so it's a fair chunk of it.
Yeah, Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, who I introduced myself to.
He loved you.
He's I don't know. He seems disinterested, but I imagine he gets a lot of people coming up to him and being hello. Jason Schreier said that 30% of staffers at Bend, which was around 40 people, had been let go. Bend posted on social media saying, today we say goodbye to some incredibly talented teammates as we transition to our next project. We're deeply thankful for their contributions as they shaped who we are, and their impact will always be a part of our story. Difficult moment for the team, usual platitudes, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Is this another cancelled live service project that was in flight?
I think it was. I think it's tied to the one that was the shooter, but who knows?
yeah.
I
Interesting.
might be wrong.
Interesting.
And then one last thing, which could be very big if it happens.
Yeah, this is. I'm intrigued by this. This is coming from Andrew Hyton over at Insider Gaming. Tencent are reportedly interested in buying Nexon.
Whoa,
if you
really?
don't know who they are? They
15
own the
billion.
Finals, which
Holy
is
crap.
Arc Raiders, and the First Descendant. Nexon has a big list of celebrated franchises. Writes Andrew. The developer and publisher seems to be going from strength to strength, and it's caught the attention of Tencent, which is considering buying the entire company to add to its ever-growing list of gaming investments.
It was only recently that Tencent announced it had acquired a 15.75% stake in Arrowhead Game Studios, the creators of Helldivers 2, and now they're eyeing a deal for Nexon, apparently. This actually comes from Bloomberg.
It's Bloomberg originally, yeah.
Is interested in purchasing Nexon, estimated to be worth $15 billion. Interesting. Nexon have recently released the first Descendant, the first Berserker Kazan, and they own Embark, or they're the majority owner of Embark. Which is
they don't own a ton. They more heavily invest in a lot of things.
Yeah. For anyone in chat who's been playing MMOs as a kid, Nexon was obviously really big because they published like really big MMOs, Maple Story, a couple of other ones. Like that was one of the first publishers names I ever knew because I saw their thing pop up so quick. That'd be a big buy if they do that. Isn't Nexon Japanese? No,
Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
Okay. So none of the you can't buy a Japanese company is gonna apply, huh? All right.
I am curious about a Chinese company buying a Korean one. Doesn't seem to be, but you never know.
Okay. Is I muted? Okay, yeah. All right.
That's pretty much it. That's all of the big banner news items. There was another one. I think Konami have confirmed it's working on a Silent Hill 1 remake with Bloober.
Yeah. Nothing about platforms yet, so we don't know if that one will be exclusive or not.
Bloober's real busy, huh? Goddamn.
They're pretty big.
Yeah. But that's it. That's it for all the news. It's been a slightly unusual show, as it's been more of a kind of like a collective catch-up of everything we saw at SGF than most headlines episodes. But don't worry, everything will be back to normal next week when we return on Tuesday with the next episode of Xbox Era Headlines. I'm sure loads of things will happen between now and then. For now, though, we will leave you, but don't forget to tune in on Saturday to the Xbox Era podcast, where the three of us are joined as per usual by special Nick, who will, for once, not have much to say because we'll be talking about everything. He'll just have to sit there and
he will jump in anyways.
Well, maybe he'll be busy reviewing Ruffy and the Riverside. We'll find out. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us and supporting us. As always, if you want to support us directly, the best way to do so is head to patreon.com/XboxEra. Other ways of supporting us are obviously YouTube memberships, donations, etc., as we now look to build some travel funds together for Gamescom. And the other way you can support us is by picking up a neat little card game. And with that, we'll leave you with this, and we'll see you on Saturday. Ciao for now.
See you guys.
This is Console Wars, the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now.
If he was here right now, he'd make a plan and he'd follow through. That's what Brian Boitano do. When Brian Boitano was in the Olympics skating for the gold, he did 2 South Hows and a triple Lutz while wearing a blindfold. When Brian Boitano was in the Alps fighting grizzly bears, he used his magical fire breath and saved the Maiden's Fair. So what would Brian Boitano do if he were here today? I'm sure he'd kick an ass or two. That's what Brian Boitano do. I want this feature out of me, it has stunted my vocabulary, and I just want my mom to stop fighting everyone. For Wendy, I'll be an activist too, 'cause that's what Brian Boitano would do. what Brian Boitano do. He call all the kids in town and tell them to unite for truth. That's what Brian Boitano do. When Brian Boitano traveled through time to the year 310, he fought the evil robot king and saved the human race again. And when Brian Boitano built the pyramids, he beat up Kublai Khan. Cause Brian Boitano doesn't take shit from anybody. So let's call all the kids together and unite to stop our moms, and we'll save Terrence and Philip too. Cause that's what Brian Boitano do. And we'll save Terrence and Philip too. Cause that's what Brian Boitano do.